Okay.
Hello.
Okay, everyone, this is Phil, Wanda, and Terry. We are part of an HR consulting group, and our goal is to discuss the problems faced by Bowers Machine Parts and develop a plan to increase employee satisfaction. So first, we want to identify the main problem and analyze it. And then we're going to establish criteria that we will use to evaluate potential solutions. And eventually, after we evaluate all the solutions, we will decide on, if we come up with a conclusion, we will decide on a solution to implement. So our main problem here is, it seems as if our CEO's leadership style of this company has clashed with the traditional management styles in place before, having led to decreased employee satisfaction and an increase in turnover rate, in addition to anger amongst management team. And part of this has stemmed from the CEO's desire to increase production levels in order to expand into international markets. So what I want to say is I believe our problem that we want to focus on is a leadership problem. So I'm just going to write that down so we have that there. Leadership problem. All right. So this has been, there's examples of this in the increased turnover rates of employees who have been there for many years, leaving the company, and increase in training costs because you have to bring in these new employees who are new to the business. And production levels, despite getting rid of all idle time and hoping to improve employee speed, has led to failing production levels, which is the opposite of what the CEO had intended with this new movement. So now that we have defined our what the problem is, and just so y'all know, we're going to try to do this in 8 to 10 minutes, to be as efficient and effective as possible. Efficiency and effectiveness. So, do y'all agree that the problem here sounds like a leadership problem or a management problem?
Sounds like it, the way you explained
Sounds like management, yes.
I would agree.
Thank you. So what are some criteria you think we should do to help establish criteria for judging a solution for this? So for example, I think our first one should be adaptability. If we implement a solution, would the company be willing to change? Would the CEO be willing to adapt to new rules? So I think that's one criteria we should use.
That sounds good.
Wait, this is criteria for the man.
I
Like,
was gonna say, because you said she's doing something different than the way it used to be done. Is that how you
Yes.
explained it?
Yes.
Being more firm.
Well, the reason I want to look at adaptability is if we choose a new solution, the CEO has proven that they are unwilling to change from how they're doing it by disagreeing with managers and going against advice of those who've been there for far longer than they have.
so she has to listen to them first. Is that under adaptability?
Yes.
Or can we add it? Okay.
Yes, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be adaptability. Do you think one like cost could be a
Oh,
cost?
that cost is a good one, yeah.
Cost is a good one. Why?
Cost? How? What do you mean by cost?
Because if some of these solutions that you implement, you might be going to have extra costs associated with them.
Oh, okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
And what's another one? Do you think?
Timing. How long does it take to implement the new strategy?
Perfect. I agree. So I think those are some good criteria we have. We have adaptability, time, and we had cost. Okay, perfect. So now I want to brainstorm some solutions that we could use here. And just throw out any ideas. We're going to try to go for about between 3 and 4 solutions. We'll just throw out some ideas, and then we'll evaluate it versus the criteria in a few minutes.
So she said she's had experience reduced productivity with her new management style.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the old managers or the old management style? Did she come in and was she elected by the board? How does that take?
She was not elected by the board. She inherited the company from her father, who died.
Oh.
Ungrateful Whitmer, huh?
I don't think that you're allowed
So
to
she
do that.
came in thinking she knew everything.
She came in and she decided that her predecessor, her father, had been too lenient, and that she wanted to change it and go from treating her employees like family to taking away the softball field, because this company has a softball field.
So since she has so many managers and stuff, like, and she doesn't listen to them, does that mean she's like micromanaging them?
Yes, that's a good way to describe it, Terry.
Thank you, Rachel Donovan. So she should probably have to set up some meetings with them and like agree to let
that's
them
a great idea. Add meetings with.
take control, like what they're in charge of.
Okay, so meetings with managers.
Thank you.
With managers
That
to
is a
delegate.
good idea, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Meeting with
Thanks,
managers
Phil,
is always a good idea.
To delegate responsibilities.
If
Yes,
she doesn't make
that's
amends
better.
with them, it sounds like she's alienated them by
How-
disregarding any of their opinions. and going against
She's
long-held
definitely
traditions.
alienated. I mean, she's not going along with anything they suggest.
Do you think a possible solution could be a new CEO?
Is-
Just throwing it out there.
I mean, it's possible, but would she be willing to give it up?
That's a whole other ballpark.
But yeah, it may be. I mean, she may want to take on a different role,
And thank y'all so much. We've been through this for about 5.5 minutes, and I really appreciate your willingness to engage and brainstorm some ideas, some possible solutions. So another solution that could do would be, I like what you said about having management delegate, the city delegate tasks to management. What do y'all think maybe about a dialogue between management and lower level employees? So that way they're more aware of the new goals, such as expanding.
yeah, because
Communication is always good.
Communication is always good.
Yeah.
Communication.
And what about the damage she's already done in that has to be repaired, right?
And losing the historical knowledge of the older employees is could be really damaging
Yeah.
to the company. Is there any way to get that back?
That's a good idea. Maybe by opening this dialogue, we can open it to former employees who recently left due to this change. Oh, that's great. Okay, I think we can now move on to look at these possible solutions that we come up with and compare that against the criteria. So just so we get an idea where we're supposed to go, let's go with meetings with managers to delegate responsibilities and tasks. So using our criteria that we have done before, which is adaptability, time, and cost, how would you evaluate these additional meetings to delegate responsibilities against cost? Like it's going to cost a little bit to install these meetings because you're taking away operating hours, you're taking more away from the operations and moving it more to the
But that sounds
administration.
like money well spent.
So
As long as the
It-
meetings are
yeah.
held,
Yeah.
organized and
Productive.
yes.
thank you. And just so you know, we're at 7 minutes.
Well, no matter what, you need to have the meetings, no matter what it costs, because you got to
There's
figure
no
out what.
else to move the company
Yeah.
forward.
You got to figure out where.
Okay, and so you think it also makes the adaptability because now you're having to get in this work environment, you're adapting the work environment to this new solution. And also with time, because as you said, with the money, it's time well spent. So another solution that we discussed was the new CEO. Well, time, you're losing time because you have to have the search for a new CEO, and you're losing money because it costs a lot, especially in the search and looking for a new CEO.
And I feel like it would take a long time for her to even come around to that idea. Like, I feel like she doesn't sound like she's even
Have they-
open to
yeah.
it, so it would take
Have they
So
gotten
we can nix that idea because it doesn't sound
Yeah,
like it's a
that's
viable
not-
option.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Unless they've gotten into desperate times, which may be why we're where we are. Has she reached? Obviously, she reached out to
us, the
us
consultants.
because of that. So I
That's a
mean,
good point. That's a good
so
point.
it's obviously desperate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there a time constraint that she needs an answer by?
We are doing this. That's why we're focusing on one particular problem, the most significant problem. Hopefully, from there we can implement additional solutions. So, finally, we want to look at repairing the damage done through communication. So, by opening this dialogue, we could adapt to the new management style. So we can hopefully encourage new former employees and current employees that this new way is working. Well, I apologize, Terry. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, we were talking about reaching out to like former employees. I feel like that has to be done fast because like they're obviously super upset right now, and I feel like if like even more time passes, like they're not even.
Well, they'll get to
They're
they'll
not-
start a
Well,
new job.
they'll start a new job.
Yeah, they're not coming back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they'll
they
move
may
on.
be, because a lot of times if they've been at a place for a long time, they really didn't want to leave, and they're not happy at the new place, but they're with her new management style, she just drove them out.
Okay, and we're at reaching 9 minutes. We have about 1 minute left, and I think for our final solution, we can do a combination of these. So would y'all agree to a combination between manager meetings to delegate responsibilities and opening communication lines to repair previous damage done?
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
sound good? Because it meets all of our criteria and cost. Like by using cost, it'll be worth in the long run, as well as time and adaptability, because it will help the company move forward to expand into new markets. I want to thank you, and I want so we all voted on this solution. Is everyone in favor?
Mhm.
Do you have any
Yes.
concerns?
No.
No, I think it's a good way to start.
Do you think we've met our goal of helping the Bowers machine parts fix their main problem?
Absolutely.
I feel as though we did.
All right. I want to thank you again for participating in this meeting, and I really appreciate it.
And what was your name?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Rachel.